Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be with you again. Today is Friday, the 29th of May. We've made it through another month, or so it feels like. I guess we have 2 days left. It's kind of exciting. If we remember, we started this journey. Well, my campaign, we started it back in August of 19, but then we got the commissioner role on the 17th of February. And 2 weeks later, we got COVID thrown at us. So we've had full month of March, April, and May as we've dealt with this pandemic. Boy, have we all learned a lot. I think you have learned a lot, just like I have learned a lot. Many of us have many opinions on that. I'll probably dive into that here a little heavily today because it seems to be the topic of discussion everywhere I go. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't mention what tomorrow is, and it's my daughter's birthday. She turns the grand 13. She becomes a teenager. So I'm excited for Taylor and wish her nothing but a happy birthday. We're having a few girls over to celebrate her birthday. That's what she wanted to do. And we made s'more cupcakes. I didn't know there was such a thing, but I do now. And they look delicious if you like that sort of thing. I can handle about one s'more a season. They're so rich. How about you? Do you like s'mores? Do you not like s'mores? The whole other debate comes with the marshmallow, right? Do you burn the marshmallow? Do you get it GBD, golden brown and delicious? What do you do with the marshmallow, right? So we could probably have a whole episode on that, but that's not really why you guys are here. That's not why you want to talk. So let's get into a few other things. One other thing I wanted to mention, I think everybody got the opportunity to see Scout's haircut. She went in as one mangy mutt, but she came back out as a sleek and stylish dog, looking fast. I'll tell you what, she is one happy puppy as she runs around the house, especially in the heat. And boy, do we have heat, right? It's like, 90 degrees out today. I feel the humidity, but I'm ready for a nice weekend. It feels like Memorial Weekend, the weather robbed us. It was a little disappointing. Felt like we were going to blow away at moments, but it was all right. So let's get into what we've been doing this week. You know, what do we do as county commissioners? I keep touching on this. But what's the role of a county commissioner? What do we decide? What do we have impact on? And I keep touching on various parts of this every week. But I think it's important you know truly what the role is so that you can make that decision in who you're choosing for county commissioner. See, we can all talk about these grandiose ideas and we can go out there, but here's what county commissioners deal with. We deal with land use issues, right? We have to go through and decide the USRs, the use by special review. That's when someone comes to us and maybe their property is slated to be one way, say it's zoned agricultural, and they're wanting to change it to some type of business. We review that. Our staff puts it up against code and figures out whether that business is compliant or not. Staff then makes a recommendation to us as it comes through Planning Commission. Planning Commission also makes a recommendation to the county commissioners. And then we determine after hearing from the applicant whether that is suitable for the county. It's one of those things that we are tasked with doing. And many times there's gray areas on things that fit, things that don't fit. And we find solutions, right? Because we want to be pro-business here in Weld County, at least I do. Because I believe we have to have a solid background and a solid support for these businesses as they come up. We're not here to be big government. We're here to support businesses in any manner in which they can be. That's my feeling. And we want to boost them up and give them that opportunity. We want them to be a good neighbor and set well within their environment. But I think it's important, right? Businesses build this country. They're the backbone of it. Ever since we started this, really wealth. We can talk about wealth, but the United States of America, and with our capitalistic society, has created more wealth in the 45 years-ish that we have been a country. We have created more wealth than in the previous amount of history prior to that, which is quite incredible if you think about it. But what we did here in this country is we allowed people the opportunity to explore their desires and capitalize on it to find a way to make a profit. Some have failed, but many have been successful. See, when you become a business owner, you take on an inherent amount of risk. You don't know that your business is necessarily going to succeed, but you're willing to take that risk because you have a belief in it. And as government, we should not be putting up objects and road barriers in front of business owners to let them do business. No, quite the opposite, my friends. We should be figuring out ways to accommodate businesses and to accommodate people going out and trying to live their dream, right? I think we get the right to pursuit of happiness here in this country. Doesn't mean we're guaranteed it, but we get the pursuit of it. And we shouldn't be restricting that from others. And so that's one of those things we get to do as county commissioners. Other things we deal on, well, we manage all the departments within inside the county. The big one we always seem to talk about is HHS, Health and Human Services. Right? Well, this department makes up nearly 30% of our employment at the county. We have individuals that are working on state and federal mandated programs. Now, a lot of these programs are up against a hard spot here with these budget cuts the state's making. And I'll get to those budget cuts in a second because you really want to know what grinds my gears. There's another thing right there. Right? But as we get to Department of Human Services, see, they're carrying out roles and we have to manage them. And it goes to Department of Health. It goes to planning. It goes to, you name the various department inside of the county. You know what the Weld County Commissioners do? They have to administer those. So we sit atop there, and our department chairs come to us and they make recommendations to us. And they're looking at it through a myopic scope, which is good. That's what they should be doing. They're looking at it as the absolute perfect scenario, perfect solution for their department. We have to, as county commissioners, use our experience, use information that we've gleaned from multitudes of people, and figure out the best solution not only for that department, but for the county as a whole. Because ultimately I answer to you, the people, just like I answer to anybody out there. You're electing me to do your business. So it's important you have someone with knowledge, business experience in administering different aspects of life. You know, as mayor, I got to be the administrator for the town, being that mayor. You have that role. As a business owner, I have that same responsibility. See, because I have people that depend on me. Their families depend on me. And I'm not willing to let them down. Just like I'm not willing to let you down. And so I think it's important you understand what this role of county commissioner is for. Yeah, it shouldn't be something that is involved in your everyday life. I wouldn't want it to be. If it was, that'd mean government's too big. But what you want to know is that it's being managed properly. And it's being managed fairly so that when you come in front of it and you need something, you're going to get an honest listening to, and you're going to get an honest application of the rules and laws, and then you get a fair shake. And I think that's all anybody wants. I don't have anybody coming to me asking for special projects, hey, just do this. No. You know what people say to me when I see them on the street? Man, all we want's a fair shake. Isn't that all any of us want? Just to be treated equally? That gets me to my next point. It's been a tough week in the United States of America this week. I go to Minneapolis. My heart goes out to the family that lost the loved one due to the officer's indiscretion. Now, I don't know what happened prior to that video being shot. And frankly, I haven't watched the video. I've read about it in multiple news sources. I've seen pictures of what was going on. I don't know what happened leading up to the scenario. And I didn't want to watch the video, quite frankly, of what was going on as the officers held this man down and ultimately ended his life. It's tragic. There's no excuse for it, frankly. And I think what we're seeing in Minneapolis today, what I heard just before I came here so that we could start this, is that the officers involved were not only fired, they have now been arrested. And you know what? That's what we call justice. But see, to me, here's what we have going wrong in this country right now. With this COVID lockdown, we have governors across this country saying you have to be locked in your house and sheltered and quarantined away from everybody else, regardless of whether you're healthy or not. Now, see, that's not how the quarantine law was written, nor was it intended in that manner. See, it was intended so that if an individual had a pandemic going, or a viral infection going, the governor was well within his right, so are health departments, to say, individual, you need to be quarantined until your symptoms subside so that you don't endanger everybody else. It was never intended to lock up all individuals and keep all individuals from being able to freely express themselves or go out and make a living, whether they were healthy or sick. See, I don't know if that bothers you, but it bothers me, and this brings me back to the deal in Minneapolis. See, because I think it's all intertwined. I'm a little scared right now in this country for some of the stuff I'm seeing in the media and some of the ways that they're, fostering strife, and they're really fostering hatred between one another. See, I don't think inherently that we hate other people. I think, in fact, we're more prone to love our neighbor, find new friends. But see, I don't think that's what's going on in the media. And it brings me again back to Minneapolis. When did we say it was okay as a country to go about and quote unquote find justice by rioting and looting businesses, burning businesses to the ground, burning police departments to the ground? When did that become okay? When did it become okay to do those senseless acts and let those people run free and say, nope, we're not going to go after them? See, it's not just in Minneapolis, as you guys are probably aware. It happened in Denver, Colorado last night. As protesters and rioters took to the street, firing off guns, turning over vehicles, lighting fires, shutting down the interstate. When did that become okay? To break the law in such a manner, yet government officials tell their law enforcement to not arrest them. Don't prosecute. Let them go. See, what they're doing is they're destroying somebody's private property. You know, we're the first country in the history of man where individuals got to own property. Generally, it was technically owned by the kings or queens, and they allowed their servants to use said property. Not here in the United States of America. So we have a right to it. That's what our forefathers said. And then we have people going out and trying to destroy that property. And I think there's individuals out there that are harboring that and saying this is the way it should be. See, I think they want us to be divided. I think they want us to fight against each other because their chaos, it comes to their plan. Quite frankly, that bothers me. It goes back to us owning businesses or wanting to go to work. See, in Weld County, I think we've done a good job as we've helped open up the county. I was so excited about this week. I actually went out and had lunch at a local restaurant and got to sit down for the first time. Oh, it was awesome. Just to sit there and have a conversation with others and see others about and commingle. Everyone was being safe. You know, it was done in a safe setting. It was like one-time use menus. Every other table was only being utilized, with the others being marked off to not use. But still, we're social creatures, and that felt great. And I applaud those business owners that have opened up. See, they're taking their rights into their own hands, right? They're exercising their liberties, which is what we have. And I just encourage the living daylights out of that. People say Weld County's a hot spot for COVID. Maybe or may not be. I think time will tell. In the midst of it, I think it's too early for us to say, quote unquote, we're a hot spot. So we have several things working for us here in Weld County. We have individuals that work in industries that See, they didn't get to take time off during COVID-19. We have a robust construction economy going. Those individuals continued to work. We had a robust oil and gas industry. Those individuals continued to work, regardless of the onslaught that they've taken on with price wars, unfounded regulations being thrown their way. They still got up. They turned on the power for the world. Then we have our farmers and ranchers, our agricultural industry, who has continued to get up and feed the world. So you had a lot of people that weren't just able to stay home in quarantine. And now that the governor has decided they could revise our numbers, instead of showing people that simply had the virus and counting them as a fatality, yet now starting to show those that actually died because of COVID. See, our numbers dropped by 40. We went from 126 fatalities to 86 fatalities. It's still a lot of people. And my heart goes out to those families that have lost loved ones. It's never easy to do that. But if we're calling this a pandemic, I think we've seen just as serious or more serious events that didn't require us to shutter and lock down the entire economy. You know, this has just blown me away. Weld County is essential. We may have had slightly higher rates, and as we dig into it and we discover the numbers, I think we'll determine why. Maybe in someday. But here in Weld County, damn it, we're essential. We feed the world, we fuel the world, we make it run. And my hat goes off to the men and women across this great county as you've continued to do so in such a manner that would make anybody proud. I thank you. It's a pleasure to be considered among you. We've also had a tireless healthcare crew working for our benefit. And I thank them. They were put under some enormous stress, fighting a virus they'd never seen before. I think they've learned a lot in this pandemic too. The great news is our hospitals were never overwhelmed. We never ran out of beds. We never ran out of ventilators. Our capacity is there to handle it. And if you recall, that's why the governor said he was locking everybody in, so that we didn't overwhelm those hospitals. We didn't overwhelm our capacity for ventilators. If we could only just blunt the curve. Now they keep moving those goalposts. I don't know about you, but that's frustrating. Either we set out a goal and we achieve that goal, or we don't. But once you achieve that goal, to then say, nope, back up. You got to now hit this goal. See, that's not responsible. That's just plain irresponsible. So, what am I thinking about right now? I'm thinking about the men and women who own businesses that have opened up as they've contemplated what best practices they can use, whether they're textiles, whether they're manufacturing, whether they're restaurants. See, each industry has determined, what do I need to do to make you and me, the consumer, feel safe? It's interesting, they're doing what I said they would do a few weeks ago here in my chat with you. They're advertising and saying, this is what I'm doing to keep you safe. But they're also saying, enough is enough. We need to open up, right? We have families to support. We have families counting on us. We have to make this work. Weld County has to get back to work. I was on a transportation meeting last night. We were talking about, and it was a Zoom call. We were talking about our meeting in June coming up, that we're going to do it in person. How excited we all are to do that. And one of the people on the meeting was from Boulder County. And he said, well, as you know, I can't leave my county for work. I said, what? Yes, we are not allowed to leave Boulder County. And I just wanted to say to that individual, I didn't, but you know what went through my mind? how's it feel like to be in prison? I haven't been there, right? But when you tell someone they can't leave, you tell someone they can't go to a neighboring county, to me, that's imprisonment. And I'm pretty sure that's not what this country's about. I'm not just talking Weld County, I'm talking the country. I don't know, I'm sorry. I get off on these rants once in a while. You guys probably don't care to hear me talk about it. But let me talk to you about some of the things that we've been working on. We're helping these businesses get open. We've given guidelines to them, and they're guidelines. They're not mandates. Most businesses are going above and beyond the guidelines. Now, many of them are calling and asking for our approval to open. Folks, we didn't close any businesses in Weld County, so we don't need to give you any approval to open. And we're going to hold that stance. We talked last week about Dr. Wallace's retirement. That was one of the things we worked on this week. It was his last day yesterday. Wednesday, we honored him in our board meeting, recognized his 25 years of great service. And yesterday, we had a wonderful party for him over at the Department of Health, where his staff were able to come in. We had a cake from, Batter Up. I don't mind saying their name. If you ever had one of their cakes, holy cow. Those things are awesome. And I didn't build this body by not eating cake, right? So I'm going to have to say it was a pretty good slice of cake. But it was fun to celebrate Dr. Wallace. I wish him nothing but the best as he flies to Hawaii and joins his family and gets some of that much needed time off and able to just unwind. He told me the other day he's been working for over 50 years. He started when he was 12. And to support his family. And I just think that's admirable. And I say, great job, Dr. Wallace. In the meantime, we haven't hired a replacement for Dr. Wallace yet. We're going to take our time. That's one of those things I'm personally, as a county commissioner, working on with Don Warden, our director of finance, so that we make sure that we have the design and the scope of that role properly defined as we move forward, making sure that we're meeting the needs of the modern day. So we're redesigning that role and just making sure it encompasses everything that it needs to. We're not going to get in a rush to hire somebody. No. See, if you get in a rush, you tend to maybe hire the wrong person. We want to make sure, just like we do everything, that we do the right thing and we hire the right person for Weld County. So that's that project I've tasked myself with and the other commissioners have tasked me with. I'm excited to take that on along with Don, and we're making a lot of progress there. We have hired an interim deputy health director in Mark Lawley. I don't know if any of you guys know Mark, but Mark has quite a history here in Weld County. He was a fire chief for over 30 years. He sat on several health boards. He's uniquely qualified to really manage the health department, manage the day-to-day operations, and get it aligned and make sure it continues to operate in an efficient function. We have some great people working over there. I love them all. It was great to meet some of them yesterday that I had never had the opportunity to meet. Some of them I've known for a long time. I even coached their kids in football. But it was wonderful to catch up with them. They do an amazing job over there. I'm proud of every one of them. And I think Mark will have some great leadership for you as he moves forward with that. And he's gotten a couple weeks under Dr. Wallace, so he understands some of the budgeting things and some various nuances of this. But I'm excited as Mark Lawley takes this on. I know the other 4 county commissioners are excited as well. What else have we been working on this week? CARES funding. Thank you again. We've gotten CARES funding, we think, resolved. We're not going to get the per capita amount that the 5 big counties did, where they got about $175 a person. No, we're closer to that $85 amount per person. But we got something. So in the county of Weld, we're going to get approximately $27 million, give or take, just a little bit in there. And what we're going to do, these funds have to be used for COVID response expenses only. Can't go backfill a budget. You can't go hire all sorts of different things. Has to be COVID-related expenses. So we're going to break that up, and I believe we're looking at about 55% will be utilized for the county, and we'll disperse the remaining 45% amongst our communities and businesses across Weld County. See, we're still wanting to prop those businesses up and get them back to work and help them out. And so we're finding new ways to be able to do that. And I'm excited about that. What else is going on? Gas and oil is making a slight comeback. I know the price is definitely not in the negatives. We're hovering around that $30 plus a barrel. And that gives me a little hope. I think we're going to be a little low on the demand side for just a little bit longer. But I don't know about you, but if you're out driving and about, seems to me like traffic's picking up quite substantially. And I think we'll start seeing that demand go up accordingly. So that'll be good, and hopefully that helps drive that price back up for oil and gas, because you know and I know how vitally important that is for our local communities, our county, the state of Colorado. See, that'll bring me back to those buzzards down there at the state capitol. You know, they want to cut everything under the budget that actually should be maybe the proper role of government. They want to cut transportation. They want to cut education. But all their little pet projects they want to do. The other great thing they're doing down there is they're not allowing you or me to go into the Capitol and voice our constitutional right on their bills that they're proposing. So there's several things they're trying to sneak in right now, hoping you and I won't notice. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you, please pay attention to what's going on down there, because it is flying. It is flying like crazy. And, you know, they said, oh, we're just going to go down there. We're going to get the budget passed. We're only going to look at bills that had broad bipartisan support, and then we'll go from there. Nah, it's not what's happening, guys. In fact, some of their wildest dreams they're trying to push through right now. So don't fall asleep at the wheel. Contact them, email them, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on. And I know new bills are even popping up right now. I just was made aware of some today. I want to pull my hair out. See, they have no idea what happens locally down in that Golden Dome. None of them. They just think they sit on these high chairs and they can deem down what goes on. And they aren't responsible, nor do they have to react to the local citizens. See, that's not how government should be. It's completely the opposite from what it is to be a county commissioner, where I see you in the grocery store and get your feedback instantaneously. You're going to let me know whether you approve of what we're doing or not. But we don't sit down and drive laws from up above and act like, you know, we just don't care. It's not the way government should operate. My golly. Let's talk about our campaign briefly. We're about a week away, 10 days away from ballots going out. In fact, if you're overseas or a vet, active military personnel, you've probably already got your ballot. They were mailed out 2 weeks ago. You and I, we're going to get our ballots in the mail here on the 8th of June. Be looking for them. I need your support. I need you to vote yes for Kevin Ross. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Spread the word. If you want to convince them, have them look at all these podcasts as we've shared them on our website, Kevin Ross for Weld. Feel free to go. We've got all our videos from our debates, from our open forums. Help them make a decision. Let them make the decision. Give them the opportunity to see firsthand. If you need a yard sign, let me know. Send us a note on Facebook. Send me a text. Send me an email. We got a time. We will get you people. We will get you out and get you a yard sign. The other important things we got going on, we're making our final push. Still need to fundraise, ladies and gentlemen. We're locking in on the end of our goal here. But I need a final push over the edge so that we can get the last $15,000 to finish up our online marketing campaign that we're doing. I know you guys are supporting me. I appreciate anything you can do to make that reality. Again, go to our website. You can contribute there, kevinrossforweld.com. We have an event on June 3rd, and if you want to sign up for that, feel free. RSVP, again, go to our website and go from there. Share our stuff. Like it. Looks like she's waving her hands back there in the back like a crazy person, but she wants my attention. What's up, Sherry?
One more thing. If you're unaffiliated, be sure and grab a GOP ballot.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're unaffiliated, grab a GOP ballot. You get both, or the opportunity at both. You can't vote in both, Democrat or the Republican primary. You have to choose one. I ask you, grab the Republican ballot and punch Kevin Ross' ticket. I would appreciate that support. With that, it looks like we're going to have beautiful weather this weekend. I ran out of time to take questions. We'll carry them over, or I'll answer them on social media afterwards, because I do answer everybody. And happy to see everybody again. And it's great to chat with you. Sorry I got off on one of those tangents today. Guys, I'm passionate. I'm passionate about you. I'm passionate about our county. And I love what I do. I love doing it for you. I love doing it for my family. And I think we're making a difference. And it's amazing what true leadership can change. And I'm excited to bring that change. So with that, everybody, have a great Friday. God bless.